No.
I'm a guy. I am fine with having a penis. A clit is just an inverted penis.
And dick. Everyone has a dick. Like, you know what I mean?
Everyone?
I mean, I don't.
The female reproductive system. The external part of the female reproductive organs is called the vulva, which means covering. Located between the legs, the vulva covers the opening to the vagina and other reproductive organs inside the body. The fleshy area located just above the top of the vaginal opening is called the mons pubis. Two pairs of skin flaps called the labia, which means lips, surround the vaginal opening. The clitoris, a small sensory organ, is located toward the front of the vulva where the folds of the labia join. Between the labia are openings to the urethra, the canal that carries pee from the bladder to the outside of the body and vagina. When girls become sexually mature, the outer labia and the mons pubis are covered by pubic hair. A female's internal reproductive organs are the vagina, uterus, fallopian tubes, and ovaries. The vagina is a muscular, hollow tube that extends from the vaginal opening to the uterus. Because it has muscular walls, the vagina can expand and contract. This ability to become wider or narrower allows the vagina to accommodate something as slim as a tampon and as wide as a baby. The vagina's muscular walls are lined with mucous membranes, which keep it protected and moist. The vagina serves three purposes. It's where the penis is inserted during sexual intercourse.
2. It's the pathway, the birth canal, through which a baby leaves a woman's body during childbirth. 3. It's the route through which menstrual blood leaves the body during periods. A very thin piece of skin-like tissue called the hymen partly covers the opening of the vagina. Hymens are often different from female to female. Most women find their hymens have stretched or torn after their first sexual experience, and the hymen may bleed a little. This usually causes little, if any, pain. Some women who have had sex don't have much of a change in their hymens, though, and some women's hymens have already stretched even before they have sex.
The vagina connects with the uterus, or womb, at the cervix, which means neck. The cervix has strong, thick walls. The opening of the cervix is very small, no wider than a straw, which is why a tampon can never get lost inside a girl's body. During childbirth, the cervix can expand to allow a baby to pass. The uterus is shaped like an upside-down pear, with a thick lining and muscular walls. In fact, the uterus contains some of the strongest muscles in the female body. These muscles are able to expand and contract to accommodate a growing fetus and then help push the baby out during labor. When a woman isn't pregnant, the uterus is only about 3 inches, 7.5 centimeters, long and 2 inches, 5 centimeters, wide. At the upper corners of the uterus, the fallopian tubes connect the uterus to the ovaries. The ovaries are two oval-shaped organs that lie to the upper right and left of the uterus. They produce, store, and release eggs into the fallopian tubes in the process called ovulation. There are 2 fallopian tubes, each attached to a side of the uterus. Within each tube is a tiny passageway no wider than a sewing needle. At the other end of each fallopian tube is a fringed area that looks like a funnel. This fringed area wraps around the ovary but doesn't completely attach to it. When an egg pops out of an ovary, it enters the fallopian tube. Once the egg is in the fallopian tube, tiny hairs in the tube's lining help push it down the narrow passageway toward the uterus.
Queen. And I also wanted to apologize for saying that you have like a 5 to 10 inch engorged clit that's bigger than my dick. That would basically make you a guy. That would basically mean you had a penis. And well, I guess I'm kind of confused because you said you're trans, but I don't know.
So do I think I'm transgender? Yes, 1,000%.
I don't know. I'm sorry. I didn't want to offend you. And I know that. And I'm sorry for saying that you're not trans. God, man.
Do I identify with my natural born gender? 1,000%.
Even though you have like cup F jugs that are always on display.
The male reproductive system. The male has reproductive organs, or genitals, that are both inside and outside the pelvis. The male genitals include the testicles, the duct system, which is made up of the epididymis and the vas deferens. The accessory glands, which include the seminal vesicles and prostate gland. The penis. In a guy who has reached sexual maturity, the two oval-shaped testicles, or testes, make and store millions of tiny sperm cells. The testicles are also part of the endocrine system because they make hormones, including testosterone. Testosterone is a major part of puberty in boys, and as a guy makes his way through puberty, his testicles produce more and more of it. Testosterone is the hormone that causes boys to develop deeper voices, bigger muscles, and body and facial hair. It also stimulates the production of sperm. Alongside the testicles are the epididymis and the vas deferens, which transport sperm. The epididymis, and the testicles hang in a pouch-like structure outside the pelvis called the scrotum. This bag of skin helps to regulate the temperature of testicles, which need to be kept cooler than body temperature to produce sperm. The scrotum changes size to maintain the right temperature. When the body is cold, the scrotum shrinks and becomes tighter to hold in body heat. When it's warm, it gets larger and floppier to get rid of extra heat. This happens without a guy ever having to think about it. The brain and the nervous system give the scrotum the cue to change size.
The accessory glands, including the seminal vesicles and the prostate gland, provide fluids that lubricate the duct system and nourish the sperm. The urethra is the channel that carries the sperm, in fluid called semen, to the outside of the body through the penis. The urethra is also part of the urinary system because it is also the channel through which pee passes as it leaves the bladder and exits the body.
The penis is actually made up of two parts, the shaft and the glans. The shaft is the main part of the penis and the glans is the tip, sometimes called the head. At the end of the glans is a small slit or opening, which is where semen and urine exit the body.
He's the best.
This guy.
I want to sit on that dick because you know it's fat.
Whoa.
Expecting that. I wasn't expecting
That
that.
was out of left field.
I love little short chubby guys because they got a little short chubby dick.
Play Special Ops Survival Mode, first on PS4.
Chemical weapons have fallen into terrorist hands. What do you suggest?
A business trip.
Like you, be strong to hold the powers of.
It hurts to admit that we're no different. Oh, I'm on it, I want it, but why do you seem to call it your eyes? I can't tell if you're here or you're out there. Do you wanna be out there? You don't need to be Prince Charming to me. I just need this to be real. I don't need no fairy tale. You don't need a kill a dragon for me. Ooh, I don't need no fairy tale. Whatever it is.